You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
We are in very serious trouble.
Look, Jeffrey Dahmer was eating the shit out of niggas' heads.
He's the one.
You call that screaming?
So I'm back with another review, but this time I'm reviewing Lars von Trier's 2018 film, The House That Jack Built. And don't worry, there's not gonna be any spoilers in this video. I definitely don't wanna spoil anything, because this film is it's pretty unpredictable. And, let me just say off the top that, going into it, I was expecting it to be this incredibly difficult and painful movie to watch because of all of the, the stories about how people were walking out of it in theaters and at film festivals and premieres and stuff like that. But to me, when I watched the film, and maybe it's just because I'm overly desensitized to all of the gore and violence of modern filmmaking, or just filmmaking in general, especially horror. But it's not nearly as hard to watch as most people, or as many people have suggested. For me personally, if you can't handle understanding, not even really seeing firsthand, but just the implication that children have been killed, or that women or men have been brutalized, that people have been killed in a particularly, or in some cases, very devastating and brutal ways, then I guess stay away from this. But like I said, I don't think it was that difficult to watch. But this is just the preface, because I thought, let me start off with some of the positives. Like I said, this is not gonna have any spoilers, but whenever you get into a Lars von Trier movie, you really have to brace yourself for what it's gonna be, because you don't know what it's gonna be. So I don't even really know how to brace myself for it, and I don't really know what to tell you. But to me, I thought that it's one of those films that it feels like you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it, right? It's got a lot of big ideas. It follows the story of a serial killer and him detailing the events of 5 random incidents.
I will tentatively divide my tale into 5 randomly chosen incidents over a 12-year period.
And, just how he goes about them, and just kind of the mind of this demented, evil, psychopathic person. And, just kind of how his mind works, and, what he's thinking when he's doing certain things, and why he does certain things the way he does. And just things like that, just little questions like that. And for each individual audience member, some of those questions will work, and some of them are not going to, some of them are not going to work for everyone. So it's a hard film to recommend, or to recommend against. There's just so much going on with it. And I mean, even here right now, I'm really contemplating how to even judge the movie. I think it was a good movie. I think that, for me at least, a lot of the ideas were well communicated, and they were left open to interpretation. There was a lot of interesting imagery, a lot of interesting ideologies presented, a lot of stuff to question. And I thought there was a lot of very cool shots, a lot of provocative statements and stuff like that. It's a provocative film, and not just in the sense of it being grotesque, or in the sense of it being violent or crude, but there's a lot of intrigue. It demands being talked about. And I just think that it's one of those films that you just kind of need to see if you're into movies. If you enjoy film, it's just an important movie to watch. Just seeing how someone would construct this story of, following one person, and it's so dark. There's so much imagery, and there's so much to unravel that I'm, even now I don't really understand a lot of what was going on, and a lot of the purpose to things. And, maybe sometimes there wasn't even a purpose, right? And so I don't even really know how to judge this movie, how to grade it. But like I said, I recommend you watch it. I recommend that you just try to understand what's going on, just from a filmmaking perspective, and from a narrative, and from a thematic perspective, just all of these different things. And, as for a score, I don't know. It's like I said, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very difficult to give a score to this movie. I mean, I gave it 4 stars out of 5.
Come back, shoot the eyewitness.
But like, I mean, I could change that to 2.
Man, that ain't shit.
Very easily. It's pretty complicated. It's a movie that is provocative. You know, it kind of changes. To me, it kind of changes depending on your mood almost, and it's interesting in that way. But I think it's a good movie. I think that generally it's a good movie. I think it's well made. It's a well made movie at the very least. Whether it's pretentious or doesn't know what the hell it's even talking about, I don't really know. But I think it's a movie that you should definitely watch. You know, I know this sounds like a cop-out, but you should definitely make your own opinion and hopefully come out with more than I did, because I'm still not sure what I think about it. But all right, that's the review, I guess. I'm sorry if it felt empty or a little bit too vague or undefined, but it's just the movie. You just kind of have to see it. But if you want to see more reviews, just comment a movie below and I'll try and check it out. I'm just trying to get into more movies, more unique films, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All right.